Episode 11. Quiet Desperation. Life has been difficult lately. Nothing dramatic, nothing chaotic, but lacking in purpose, in motivation, in energy. I know I'm not alone in this. Many of my friends have talked about similar things. Just a lack of luster in their lives, forgotten what they care about, what they're interested in. And as I have these conversations and I think about my own life, a line comes to mind from Henry David Thoreau's Walden. Don't know if you've read it, and I haven't read the whole thing, but there is, of course, the famous line that we all know. Most men lead lives of quiet desperation. Or as Henry says, the mass of men. Same difference. As is my wont, I took some time recently to write some poems, drafted on the theme quiet desperation. Sounds very depressing, and I suppose on some level it is, but to me it's always cathartic to write about what I feel. And somehow easier to articulate in verse than it is in narrative or even in conversation. And so I'm experimenting this episode with something a little bit different as I continue my poetry writing casually on the side, based on short collections with an umbrella theme. And this one, 3 poems, are all rooted in this idea of quiet desperation. So I'm going to go ahead and read these and then talk a little bit about where they came from. The first one I titled, "How was your day?" "How was your day?" she asks, between sips of Johnson Chardonnay, as I flip absently through cooking shows. "Oh, fine, fine," I text as one toked upstart plates a pheasant with tarragon bechamel. "Is tarragon like rosemary?" I ask, losing the thread of our conversation. "What? Never mind. Yes, everything is fine. You?" "Got a promotion today." "Oh, good, bae, good. You've wanted to get that new car, the one with the leather seats and the steering wheel warmer?" I type all this without looking at my phone, eyes locked on pheasant. "Yeah, we'll see. I should probably save up for something important." "Hey, I think I'm going to go to bed," I type. But really, I'm just desperate to know how a 19-year-old figured out how to make a rodent bird gourmet while stumbling into a Michelin star. My phone loses battery before the next segment. So do I, falling into indented cushions on my IKEA couch, off-center in the living room. I jolt awake at one-something, disoriented. When I remember myself and pull free from couch cushions, I stumble to the bedroom, waving to the bathroom on the way. "I'll clean myself up tomorrow," I say to no one, because I live very much alone. This didn't actually happen to me. Well, for starters, I'm gay, so the relationship situation would look a little bit different. But the idea is, of course, roughly that we get into this rut, this routine, where even our communication happens on autopilot. You know, moments where we should be checking in with our loved ones and really asking genuinely, "How are you?" and caring about what the answer is, become just rote, as if produced by muscle memory. And then we become obsessed with the things that show us up, the people who show us up, fascinated by people who have accomplished so much when we still struggle to figure out what we've accomplished at all. And in that space, it does feel very much alone. Something I've struggled with a lot as I grow older and I figure out my routine and my direction and really my vision. Sometimes I just end up in the road back and forth, and I don't like it. I don't know anyone who likes it, but there it is. One example of quiet desperation. This next one is a little bit more off the beaten path. It combines some memories and experiences I had as a child, and then incorporates a little bit of fiction to paint the scene. I'll just dive right in. It's called Birthday. I woke up early today before the sun for no reason. On my counter was a blue and gold wrapped box with a comically oversized gift tag. Jeff. I went to the bathroom, then flipped on the morning show while it rained hesitantly out my spotted window. And I picked at it, tearing the glossy wrapping paper around a matryoshka, the bulbous face faded like an erstwhile clown, in the shadow of flickering LED lights hung to celebrate, as we often do, the glow of holidays. But today is my birthday, and I sit alone on a couch with my grandmother's present between my knees and cumulonimbus out the side. An heirloom, she writes on the card. There was a reminder of the good and the bad in each of us. So I look at the half-melted, moldy eyes and zone out, both of us forever a bit tired, caring not much any more what we stand for. I stand to make coffee, nodding and wondering and retiring in a single bob of my head, because that is what you do when mornings come around again. But this one, I think it really homes in for me on how birthdays have changed over the years. Not something so much we look forward to, the gathering of friends and family, the gifting of presents, the celebration of another year, and what that means in the way of accomplishments and opportunities. Really something we kind of dread, a reminder of our age, what we haven't accomplished. And then to get presents from loved ones, thoughtful indeed, and with every intention, every good intention, trying to inspire us to live our best lives, to share these relics of happiness, reminders of generations that saw a lot, experienced a lot, loved a lot. And all they mean to us now is how little we've done, how tired we are. And that sometimes the motion of just moving forward is what birthdays are about. Quiet desperation. This third poem came from memories I have living back in Washington, D.C. area, Virginia, when I was a kid. And honestly, very happy times. But when I think back to those times and the things that I remember and the things that made me smile and made me happy, it sort of set that scene for me, are things that I'm starting to notice I don't notice anymore in the craziness of life. And it makes me wonder how much they contribute to one's happiness if you are able to notice them, absorb them, appreciate them. It's called End of the Lane. There's something curious at the end of the lane, if you look. An ember-eyed, drunk, smiley pumpkin crooked on a stoop. The faded pink horn of a unicorn in chalk. A perfectly symmetrical pile of auburn leaves cratered with a dog-sized hole. And there is life in the roundabout of a cul-de-sac if you happen by. Instead of turning round and away, sitting on the edge of the sidewalk where handprints storytell in concrete, and bright red slushy fragments trail from one front door to the next. But I know how busy you are going. I know how occupied you are doing. Drive on then. There will be other lanes and other cul-de-sacs. Or not. But what is important? You are going. You are doing. Going where? Doing what? That is what I am starting to ask myself. Okay, one more, then I'll let you go. This one is a short one and came to me today, actually, as I was thinking about the ways in which I manage the stress and anxiety of daily life when it's really too much for me. And I know I need a retreat and a refuge to get back to myself. I'm increasingly an introvert these days. I find comfort in that, even if there are moments of loneliness. And so this touches on that a little bit, and one of the mechanisms that I have used to find some measure of peace and calm between large bouts of chaos. It's titled Settling. Settling. Deep into the armchairs of my mind, a thought comes. Better here than out there. Then as I tug the smoke of my amber pipe, wrapped in a smoking jacket, my slippered feet glowing by firelight, I admit, better fiction now than reality's furies tomorrow. I don't know if that's true or not, but sometimes it feels that way. I promise next episode will be more uplifting. But for this one, I'm going to close it out in the spirit where we started. The spirit of quiet desperation, thoughtfulness and reflection, and wondering what's next. Of value, of purpose, of meaning. What's next that makes us happy?